If you have a website, I think this is one of the most fun SEO ideas I've had. I think this is one of the most fun search engine optimization ideas I've had. And this is what I am working on today because I am obsessed with seeing this through. This is what happened. I want to tell the story of how this happened. I'm reading the Terminal List series by this author, Jack Carr. And I was looking at pictures of Jack Carr on Google Images, and I was going through all these pictures of Jack Carr. And I'm like, this is cool. Jack Carr has lived this diverse life. You can see him in all these environments. You can just click the right arrow and look at all these different pictures of Jack Carr. And then I Googled my own name. And I see a few pictures of me, a few pictures here and there. Then I see other Edward Sturms. I see other Edward Sturms and only a few pictures of me here and there and in not many diverse environments. And I've lived a crazy life. If you listen to this show, you know I've lived a life that I am very proud to have lived. I'm very proud to have lived the life that I have lived. But you don't see that if you Google pictures of me, if you Google my name. And I don't know, I just think this is such a fun idea because there's all these pictures with me and A-list celebrities and me in all these different countries and locations, doing interesting things, filming big videos in Times Square, all these crazy things that I've done. But you rarely see any of that if you Google me. And so here's what I'm doing. And if you have a website, you can do this too. If you don't have a website, you can create a Squarespace site and do this yourself. It's very easy. I'm just so excited about this. I think it gives me tremendous social proof to be able to Google me and see me with all of these people in all of these places over the last decade plus, because I'm taking pictures starting from 2012. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to create a page. It's either going to be in my footer, it's going to be linked to from my footer, or it's going to be linked to from my bio page on my website, from my about page on my website. I'm going to make the page title Edward Sturm Photos. I wrote the meta description already. I'm going to make the meta description photos of Edward Sturm from 2012 and onwards. Photos of Edward all around the world in various activities. I'm going to write a little bit of copy at the top of the page, like what this page is, and then it's going to be maybe 50 to 100 photos of me with different really big people or in clubs when I used to work in New York City nightclubs, or me on film shoots, or me in all these different countries, me recording videos, me behind a computer, all these crazy photos that I have. For each of the photos, I'm going to put alt text using my name, Edward Sturm, doing XYZ. I'm going to give the year of the photo and the location of the photo, and all the photos are going to appear with captions. So someone could actually just go to this page and look at all these different photos of me. Because if you don't know, I put out videos every single day on Instagram and TikTok. I've done that for almost 650 days in a row now. This podcast, this is episode 399 of this podcast. And I do this podcast every single day, every day in a row. It's my daily digital marketing podcast. I haven't missed a day of doing it in 399 days. So I put out a lot of content. I put out a lot of videos, but I want people to be able to look at pictures of me from the past because I think it gives me credibility. It gives me social proof. It gives me more of a story. It allows people to become more interested in me, the life that I've lived. I could create lore around myself. There's so many different things that I can do, and I have such crazy photos that I'm going to be putting up. Photos that are totally not professional, but I don't care because I think they're fun and interesting. And I think everyone has photos like this. Even the most mundane people have some cool photos that they are proud of. And you can do that. You can use these. If you have a website, you can use these. If you don't have a website, you can create a Squarespace site with your name. You could literally create the Squarespace site with your name, and the Squarespace site exists only for the purpose of having these photos. Each photo has alt text. Each photo has a caption. It's a caption rich with descriptions. You submit the site to Google Search Console. You submit the page to Google Search Console. Your site maps to Google Search Console. Google crawls it. Google sees all these photos of you, and then these photos of you appear in Google Images, or they even appear in featured snippets within Google itself. That happens too. And now you've become a lot more Googleable, and you have more of an interesting story around yourself. And if people go to your website, like lots of people go to my website every day, people will be able to see all these photos of me. I might even create a more prominent link to these photos and encourage people to go look at these photos of me, because I think it creates all this social proof around myself. I think it's just such a fun idea. The things that you can do with SEO are so cool if you get creative like this. Because I was looking through Google Images, and I'm just like, I've lived such an awesome life. I'm so proud of the life that I've lived, and I hope you're proud of the life that you've lived too. But like, I've done all of these things, and no one can see any of that. But it's very easy for me to be able to make that discoverable. It's very easy for me to put that up and allow people to see it. I might actually use these photos as well. I don't remember the name of the feature on Instagram, but they're basically featured stories. So if you go to somebody's profile, you see that they have stories of themselves. And it's just all these different photos that they have or videos that they have. And you can tell a story using this, and people do it for different locations or different topics. People show all of their photos from their trip to Italy, or people show all their photos from their trip to Spain. People show all of their photos of them in artificial intelligence. And I just might make one that's like 50 to 100 photos, and it's just me throughout the years doing different things. And I might use these exact photos that I'm gathering for this page on my site to be discoverable on Google Images, and then also reuse that on Instagram in one of these featured stories on my page. I might do that, but I'm not set on that. I think it's way more fun to have these photos just be discoverable, because believe it or not, people Google your name. If you are active in business, people Google your name. People search you, they try to look you up, they want to know who you are. And there are all these ways to make your story discoverable with interesting different methods. And that's what I'm excited about today. It's such a random little thing. I know it sounds little, but it's so fun. And I'm creating all this social proof around myself, all this credibility around myself. And I'm using search engine optimization, my favorite marketing channel, to do it. And it's also on my site, so anyone can go to my site and find these pictures. I'm very excited about this. I wanted to share this with you because I think some people listening or watching might be excited about it too. I think it's just such a fun thing to do. It lets you be narcissistic for a second. It lets you binge on your past for a second, and then use photos that you have throughout the years in all these different ways that could actually heighten your credibility. I think it's cool. So that's what I wanted to share with you on this episode of the podcast. I am recording this at the top of a boat on a river in Europe. And there is a bridge behind me with trains rolling past. There's a train behind me right now. There's a tram behind me. I can see it. I can see it as I'm recording. I'm in this lovely shade. It's so nice here. I have an Americano at my side. Hello. I am so enjoying myself. Thank you. I'm having just the most lovely day. And this is episode 399 of my daily digital marketing podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you so much for watching. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, thank you for being here with me. Thank you for listening. I will talk to you again tomorrow. Bye now.